What's up? This is Kong from XFaderz, and I'd like to thank you for coming back and joining me on the second part of the TagScanner tutorial. If you haven't already, take a moment and check out the Part 1 version of this tutorial. It'll be listed up in the top right corner of this video, as well as down in the description. To kick things off, we'll switch over to the Online tab. What this allows you to do is to populate the album information or song information for each track that you have in your list. TagScanner supports FreeDB, Discogs, and MusicBrainz. FreeDB will allow you to select all the tracks of an album and be able to search for the title information or the tag information for each one of those albums. So start off by highlighting all the tracks of the album and hit the search button over there on the far right. After a couple seconds, the album information should populate in the window below. Unfortunately, FreeDB does not support the album cover art, but it seems to do a pretty good job on giving you the list of tracks for the album. Once you found the album that you're looking for, you can click on it to find out a little bit more details and the track listing information. Once everything is good, you can pretty much hit save and it will apply that information to that album. Next up is Discogs. Ironically, this is the website that I use to purchase my vinyl. If you're having difficulty finding some albums or cassettes or CDs, I would probably suggest checking out this website and may be able to help you out. How this relates to TagScanner is because you're required to have an account through Discogs. So I would suggest signing in. It's completely free, and then it will ask you for an authorization code. You apply that to TagScanner. Once you hit OK, you'll have access to their database. With Discogs, you have a few more options. You can actually click the drop down right next to it, and you can choose whether it's a CD, vinyl, file, or LP. As a bonus option, you can also use your placeholders. So as you can see here, it's pulling the information that's already in place from that album metadata. So if you have a little bit of details about the album, you can apply that. And as you can see here, it shows the Simpsons album as well as the cover art for the album. If you look at the details there, it also shows the vinyl copy as well as the CD. We'll get into more details on why that's important. But as you can see here, it shows the 10 tracks. All I have to do is preview them. And if everything looks great, I can go ahead and apply or save it. The next example that I want to discuss is the album DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper. This album's unique because the CD version is a little bit different. There's actually a track that is not found on the CD, which is titled Another Special Announcement, which is found on the second side or side B of the first album. I found this very important to mention because if you find that the tracks do not line up properly, you might want to do a little bit of research before you apply those titles or tags to that album. Moving along to the generate section, this will allow you to take a file name and produce the artist, title, track number, along with other information to add to your metadata. And again, over here to the right are a list of options that you can choose from for placeholders to generate a scheme for your file name. So what I'll do is look through my list of songs and find one to start with. So we'll begin with the Simpsons Batman song. What you can do is choose the track as the first option, and I like to use a hyphen in between, followed by the artist name, and last but not least, another hyphen as well as the song title. So right below there, you can actually see the example, as well as here, you'll see the preview. Let's say you have a file name that has some information that you would like to ignore. So for this example, at the beginning, there's a R00 underscore. All of that information I do not need. So what I can do is replace the track information with the ignore placeholder. And because it's separated with a hyphen, it will take whatever data is before that hyphen. So here's an example of what it would look like removing it. And as you can see on the end, it actually has ignore, and the information in purple was to be ignored. The last tab at the top is the export tab. This will allow you to export your track list as HTML and also M3U for playlists. The other options are available just in case if you want to do a little more granular details and some changes to the file. But the most important that I found is the HTML and the playlist version. Once you click the export button, it will take a second or two, and then what you can do is open up that actual file. You'll be presented with the HTML page with a list of all your tracks and the information that's required. So I simply highlighted all the songs that I have in the list, and then I just set it to export. And as you can see here, it's a long list, fairly long list. So if you already have a web page developed and you want to provide that information to one of your customers, you can literally just upload this page and provide them with that link to easily see the track list. The option to print these listings is also available, so you can just print directly to PDF, and you can provide in an email, which may be easier, or a regular printout, a hard copy of your track list if customers don't want to use the web or anything like that, and they find this process easier. The M3U option is pretty much straightforward. All you're creating is a playlist in each one of the folders, but it's helpful if you have a list of songs in a folder and you would just like to select them all and play through. Instead of doing that, you can just simply click the file and it will open up in, let's say, media player or whatever media player software that you're using to play it through. Now that we've covered all of the topics in TagScanner, at least for the most part, to get you started, I'd like to show you my workflow as far as how I set up my track list to be added to my Serato or just DVS application to be used. Whenever I download or rip any of my music, I sort of place it in a triage folder. So that folder includes the title or year, for example, the 1990s, 2000s, 2010s, and whatever that song, whatever year that song was produced, I just dump it in that folder as is. I take a look at all the tracks that are actually in the folder, and as you can see, the artist and title is actually filled out. So I'll start with the rename option. Simply, I'll take the artist and title and just create the file name from that information. Once that task is complete, I'll switch over to the Edit tab and I'll remove any extra information. So other than the genre and the BPM and key information, everything else gets removed. And that's right down to photo art or anything like that. Now, it's your option if you want to keep that stuff, but for me to keep my information clean, as far as me to keep my DVS software clean, I like everything to be removed. Once that process is complete, I will literally highlight all the tracks and select move and move them over to my actual performance folder. So then I know everything is done properly and it's a straight move directly to my folder that I'll use when I'm out performing. I will complete this process on each one of the folders under each genre until I have everything done correctly, and then all the songs have been moved over to that folder. And that's pretty much it. That is my process in a nutshell. I'm pretty sure you have your way that you might like to do yours, and it's totally up to you. But let me know in the comment section what you found to be helpful. Also, stay tuned for the last videos of this series where we'll discuss how to store this music and essentially back it up and make sure you don't lose anything from your collection. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find some great tips in that video. But other than that, that's pretty much it for me. Please like, share, and subscribe, and check us out at the website at www.xfaders.com.